Always have to delay because this thing won't allow you to do the mic until it pops
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Let's see. Come on. There you go. Peace, everybody. This your brother, Mr. Holipsism. Doing a little impromptu live stream. Y'all know how I do. It's never planned. Usually these live streams are based on like some conversation that I had with one of my people. And this one happened to be Carla and my cousin. So I got my brother Deontay Ford on the line with me.
Yep, as usual.
Yeah. And some more people might pop in. I put the link out there, so this might be a group discussion, but for now it's just me and him. And let me just give you all the title of the show in the description. The title of the show is Reparations, Land versus Check. And in the description I put, I've heard black folks make the argument that black people can't be racist because racism equals prejudice plus power. And we don't have the power to be racist. I've also heard it said that racism is a system and not an event. I agree. So my question is, if racism is a system, how does an individual's reparation check solve a systemic problem?
Well, the answer to the question, it doesn't. It just basically says, well, here, you've been compensated for your troubles. Now get out of here.
Hmm.
Now you're still going to have to live under under white supremacy. You're still going to have black people, even if they did give us a check. You're still going to have black, and they're not going to, but you're still going to have black people being gunned down by cops. You still then they're talking about all these reparation checks. The only thing they're going to do is take those checks and spend them in white businesses in white communities. So I don't even understand why even ask. You know,
Hmm.
it's like, and then they're just going to tax the checks and take some of the money out of it. So
Yo, are you hearing anything?
about ADOS.
No, 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 in the live stream. Because once somebody hit me up, said they hear background noise, but I don't hear anything.
No, I don't hear anything.
What in the world is he hearing? Hold on a second. You can go ahead. I want to address this guy.
Oh, yeah, I don't hear anything either.
Yeah, you can go ahead. What you were saying.
All right. Who's on here with me? Oh, this Dundada.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
What's going on, gentlemen?
How you doing,
yeah,
brother?
Deontay. Yeah, this Dundada on here.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is me. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
yeah,
Oh, okay. All right.
So
yeah.
what's going on?
Shit, nothing. Tired as hell.
No, yeah. Do you at least get a chance to relax on a Sunday, or you still gotta do some work?
Yeah, I just got out the field. So yesterday morning when I came back, so I'm in recovery mode right now. So I'm chilling.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So you heard the title of the show, right?
Yeah, land or check.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Did I miss anything else? I was trying to log in. So
No, we just started.
okay.
Deontay was talking about
Oh no, I'm still here.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was talking about what were you saying? You were talking about
Uh, yeah. I I was answering the what was the question? Yeah, what was the question? You said um
oh, I asked at the end, like when I read the description, I asked if racism is a system, how does an individual reparations check solve a systemic problem?
Oh, okay.
And he was building on that.
Okay. Well, I hate that. I ain't mean to interrupt it, but go ahead, finish up.
no, you go ahead. You sound like you was gonna say something anyway.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was just trying to catch up on what was going on because between logging in,
Okay.
yeah. So
Yo, I want to make a point.
Sure.
And this is something, actually, this is the point that made me want to do this show in the first place.
Well,
The thing that I
go ahead.
find funny reparations, theoretically, reparations is supposed to be about addressing historic injustices done to our people collectively in this country, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That's fundamentally what it is. So it's really about us as a collective. What I find disturbing is that we're so dysfunctional that we've managed to take something that's about the collective and break it down to more individualistic bullshit. Isn't
Yeah.
that funny? Like what
Yeah.
reparations is about our people and what are the experiences of our people were in this country, and yet they've taken it and made it into individual checks.
Yeah. I
It's
was.
kind of funny. I was having a guy commented. I think it was on a live stream. It might have been on Dynas's live stream. I can't remember. But the guy said, "Oh, I mentioned about government. Man, I don't want to give money to no government. I want my check." I said, "Nigga, why don't you go and sue the United States government?
Good luck.
How the hell are you going to come in on a reparations issue and think that it's about you getting a check? If it's about you getting a check, why are you trying to piggyback off of our struggle in this country? Just go and sue the United States government as an individual so you can get your individual check. But if we're talking about something that involves a collective, why aren't we talking about government? Why aren't we talking about institutions? Why aren't we talking about systems?
Right.
We've taken something that has to do with the collective and actually broken it down. So now it's about individuals and every nigga for himself. That's the thing that I find the most disturbing.
Yeah, and I was building on that, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't support the whole. I don't mind the old ADOS identity,
Hmm.
but their agenda, like just how you spelled it out, just like that, is why I don't support it. And the main people that I hear behind it are known con artists and misery merchants, people like Yvette Carnell and who's the other cat, the Tone Talks people, and all these these people like we talked about in that other conference call a couple of weeks back. They're carving more smaller circles of people. That's all it is. It's more in just rampant individualism that doesn't really solve anything. If you give if you give all these people an individual check, and let's say again, all they're going to do is spend it on white-owned businesses. Most of them aren't going to do anything. They're going to get their weed fixed, get their perms done, get stuff they materialistic shit they couldn't get on a good day's salary, and then they're going to still have to deal with white supremacy. They're still going to be living in the social construct of somebody else's reality. So I don't think it helps at all. And then all they're going to do is tax the checks. They're going to take some of the money out of it. This is just more give me more money. This is just I hate to say it like this, but it sounds like you just wanted a raise on fucking welfare. That's what it sounds like, man. I don't like saying it like that, but that's what it is. You're just asking for a
So
bigger welfare check. That
yeah. No,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead. Finish up.
Dondada. Go ahead.
So like how I was looking at it, is it's like kids on child support that have parents that's on child support, right?
Yeah,
They are forced to give them money, right? And that's the cure. That's their cure. That's just given, just addressing the symptoms. Like, okay, they're not together. She needs child support, or he needs child support. You give them the money. Now you go away, but not addressing the real issue is like, hey, child support is a collective thing as far as like, support, the support part, and it's emotional and in certain aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
people that get checks is only going to get a certain how can I say a certain feel out of it. And once that check is gone, they're gonna be like, well, the check wasn't good enough. I don't need, and you should have gave us this, and this. It's just solving that problem for right then. Just as if, well, you got child support checks for me for 18 years, but now you should have been there for emotionally for me. You should have supported me, do this and that. And
yeah,
they were like, well, I gave you what you wanted. You know what I'm saying? So what more? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. So yeah,
I got
it doesn't
another
solve
analogy
anything.
that you might like that describes this whole situation. Because I was talking with my cousin earlier,
yeah,
and you know that surgery, where they staple your stomach. What's it called? Gastric bypass or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you get a gas, let's say that you 350 pounds or something, that you have a bad health, an unhealthy diet, the way that you eat and all of that, and they go and you get a gastric bypass surgery. So you lose this weight, they make your stomach smaller, but you didn't really change your eating habits.
Right.
So what do you think is
Mm-hmm.
going to happen? Or
You
what
get sick.
normally happens?
You get sick.
Yep. Or you blow
Yeah.
up
Yep.
slowly but
Yeah.
surely back to where you was, because why? You didn't deal with your problem on a systemic level. You just came up with
Right.
a short-term solution. And that's what I look at reparations as. A check is a short-term solution. It doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't even solve anything for the individual, because even the individual who never saw, let's say they give $50,000 or whatever, who never
Mhm.
saw that amount of money in their life, it doesn't mean anything. It's not even going to solve their problems, because they still, you got $50,000 compared to a fucking system, a socioeconomic and political system that is against you, and you got 50 grand. Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna take that money and spend it right back on white businesses. You can give it right back to them. So
Yeah. It's not. I don't think people think about it when they say, "Hey, I want my check." Separating themselves from the actual, you know, the whole purpose of a reparation. It's to repair a nation of people that been, been disenfranchised and just been messed up, for the last 400 plus years. Yeah, they don't get that. Like, you telling me that a $50,000 check is good enough for, for 500 years of what we've been through? Come on, that's crazy.
yeah, and oh, Fatty Black said he'll be on in 20 minutes. Well,
Okay.
yeah, it's just crazy. They think that they're thinking, like how what's the metaphor with the microwave? Like how they say, like sometimes when you cook, like when you try to heat up your food, where like the plate is hot but the food is fucking cold.
Hmm.
It's kind of like that. That's all reparations is. And a larger part of me think it's just a big scam for all these black pimps out here, these hustlers, these misery merchants. They're just trying to get a check, man. That's why I couldn't really support it.
Yeah.
And you know,
I,
the really sad part is that it's a point that I've been making, and it continues to be the case. It's like we always have the wrong people framing the narrative. We always have we the only culture where I know we let our buffoons and our class clowns represent us. Everybody
Yeah,
else wants to have their most intelligent, most educated people stepping up to the plate to represent us. We just want clowns and buffoons to represent us.
yeah, and a lot of it is too is because a lot of the mainstream media gets behind these people. That's like one, and then another thing too is they stay talking about stuff going on in the entertainment industry with R. Kelly this and something about Nas not being allowed to see his son. They're
Yeah,
talking about
gossip,
yeah
gossip.
gossip. Yeah,
Just
they're just
basically
gossiping.
gossip level bullshit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
yeah,
don't get me wrong. I mean, like some people, that's their lane. So if that's your lane and you gossip, fine. I don't have a problem with that. But my thing is, we need some balance. If everybody's doing the same damn things, then it's off balance.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it's like almost as if we looking for something to pop up so that we can talk about it.
yeah,
And that's why if you notice, like this guy Nipsey Hussle died, and everybody and their mama got a post, a video, or something, an article, something talk, because we're just so used to avoiding solutions that we need distractions. We need something to come up so we can talk about. And I'm not saying that brother's death is a distraction. I don't
right.
want y'all to misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're looking. That's just one story out of many stories,
Yeah,
and we keep latching on and attaching to it and running it into the fucking ground. Before that, it was Jesse Smollett. We was running into that, attaching to it, commentating. It says we just looking for shit to talk about.
yeah. We
I
have a
agree.
short
I
attention
agree.
span, huh?
What's up, guys?
Oh, what's up,
Hey, what's
Fatty
up?
Black?
Nothing. I thought I was gonna be home sooner, but I'm with my mom and my sister right now. They just went to beauty supply store to get something. So
That's
Hey,
cool.
you in and out, man.
It's cool.
I'm cutting. I'm chopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna have to deal with that.
All right.
You can. Oh, so you can talk, or you saying you can't? You
No,
gonna
I'm good.
get?
No, I'm
Oh,
good.
okay. Okay.
But so I don't know if maybe you could catch me up to speed real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Title of the show: Reparations, Land versus a Check.
Mm-hmm.
Description is: I've heard black folks make the argument that black people can't be racist because racism equals prejudice plus power, and we don't have the power to be racist. I've also heard it said that racism is a system and not an event. I agree. So my question is, if racism is a system, how does an individual reparations check solve a systemic problem?
Okay. Well, the easy answer is that it doesn't, and the people that want to check are just stupid. It's just that plain and simple. Like, cause
See, this is why Minister DeWood and me love Patrick, because it's very simple and straightforward and to the point. Not a whole lot of zimming around and jumping around. That's exactly how I like it.
Cause it's like they love to, Cause what's crazy to me is that they love to bring up, Japan and other like nations that
Yeah.
got like reparations, but it's like, but for
Because
when
they
it
have
comes
their own
to us,
countries.
yeah, when it comes to us, for some odd reason, it's totally different. Like we just want to check for some reason. I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like you playing a football game, right? And somebody on the team suggests that y'all actually get uniforms and do some training or get some coaches. And you going, no, motherfucker, what's wrong with you? We need to be like the Giants. We need to be like the New England Patriots. See, that's the problem with y'all. It's like, well, wait a minute. I'm just asked. I'm trying. I'm trying to be like them. That's the argument. That's how stupid these motherfuckers are, man.
Yeah.
They
There's
argue
a
with you against nationhood and then give
oh
you
yeah.
nations as an example of how you supposed
Exactly,
to fucking be.
exactly. I don't know how that's clicking in everybody's head that says that. I don't understand it.
It's not clicking. That's the problem.
They yeah, man. They
I've been dealing
a
with that
black
for years, man.
the
Years.
they think that a government that doesn't want to give its people affordable health care, cheaper education, which would by and large benefit white people, they think that they're going to convince that government to give them a reparations check.
Oh God. Can I make a point before anybody else and just
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
man.
ahead.
this is and I'm about to say something that's super fucking sad, but it's real. I can't think of one person in the public eye, like I'm talking about radio, internet, television, anybody where people can actually hear their words and hear what they're saying, that's black, that I would suggest that you listen to as an intellectual. I can't think of one.
Me neither.
Not one. And let me explain what I mean by that. We're sitting here talking about reparations, right? Which is really just, if you look at the context of what's going on in the world and what's going on in society at large, is a kind of narrow interest, right?
Yeah.
The sad part is I can go to different ethnic groups and races of people and hear their conversations, and you have their intellectuals are actually talking about how are we going to operate as a species going into the future. They're actually having that conversation. If you go to our circle and our so-called intellectuals, what the fuck are they talking about for the future of black? Not for the future of a species. Let's get narrow. We ain't got to include everybody. What's the future for black people in the fucking world? Is anybody talking about that?
No.
No,
I
not
can't
really.
think of anybody besides us on this live stream right now at 12:20 p.m. that's mentioning any of this. This is not on anybody's fucking mind. And these are supposed to be our intellectuals. If our intellectuals is Yvette Carnell, then we might as well fucking slit our throats right now. That's our intellectual. Those are the people with the most brain power we got that we're producing as a people. Where
Yeah,
are
I
they?
don't.
Where are they? Where are our people, our scientists, our engineers, our people who actually are looking at the world? All right, here's I'll talk about this. We're talking about reparations. What about the fact that we're moving into an automated society? Is anybody talking about that? Where the whole concept of you go fill out a resume and get a job so you get some money so you can pay your rent and your bills is becoming extinct.
Yeah, and
Is anybody having a conversation about that? And in light of that reality that's coming, what are our people going to do within that context? We haven't even reached stage one, which is the mentality that we need something of our own.
yeah,
Nobody's having this fucking conversation because nobody gives a fuck about black people. Nobody cares about black people. These people that you're listening to on the radio, I guarantee you, on radio and television and successful online presence, they're making over $250,000 a year.
yeah, they got their piece of the pie. They not even tripping.
And these are the people that we're listening to. Where's your sense of urgency when you in a jacuzzi getting a blowjob?
Yeah.
Where's your sense of urgency? Of course, it can be incremental change, and we got to take our time. Yeah, because you got yours.
Yeah, I do.
And these are the people
Yeah.
that we listening to. These are the
Yeah.
people that we are giving the biggest microphone to, and not just in a black community. Let's look at America. Every rich guy in the fucking world wants to be president. Everybody's coming out of the woodworks because the rich man is the Jesus Christ that's going to save everybody. You got working class people electing rich, filthy rich motherfuckers to represent their interest.
Yep.
You don't need any. You don't need anything.
And nobody thinks that there's something wrong with that.
Well, yeah. And I'm going to be honest here, man. I'm gonna make a statement. I had when I first got into this game, I had my hopes up for people like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Boyce Watkins because that's all I heard at the time. But over the years, I've seen what they're about too. Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't even think he considers himself black, and Boyce is more focused on fast money. He's a good finance expert though, but I don't really care too much on his views. A lot of other stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
I really don't have a problem with Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's a scientist. That's his
Yeah.
lane. I don't expect him to be involved in anything we talking about. But I would love to pick his mind when it comes to how to design a society. He's very good at that.
Yeah.
Everybody has their
so
own little.
Oh,
What's
jeez.
up?
What?
no, so what I think what most people are missing here is you have specialists that actually specialize in stuff like that. As you said, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he has a specialty, but we do have some black economists that
Yeah.
actually study this shit. So why are we talking to Yvette Carnell about
Thank
something,
you.
an idea
Yeah.
about something where you actually have people who study the shit and knows
Thank
what's
you.
going on and
Yeah.
they actually can correct it? They giving
I
out
want to talk to
Nobel
Reggie.
Peace Prizes. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk to Reggie. If we're going to have a reparation discussion, I want Reggie Middleton to represent us.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all know who that is, but
I,
Reggie Middleton is a brilliant economist. Why don't we
yeah.
have him representing us?
Yeah.
So
So
what
I
you
was
saying
going
is
through.
true, man.
So I was going through these. I think it was like last year. Was it last year? No, it was like 2 years ago. I was talking to one of my partners about getting an economist to try to help us figure. This is when I was like, "Yo, we can do it right here." Mindset. I was like, "Yo, man, we got all these economists out here that can help us figure some of these things out." And I actually wrote down some of the names and some of the authors that have books and that actually works. But and that was pushed off. That idea was pushed off to the back. But now it kind of makes sense of like where we need to go as far as going forward, especially when we building our new nation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So those people are important, critical to our movement. So let's not forget about them.
Well, see, this is why we exist, because all these other talking heads don't give a fuck about moving forward. They just like talking about the subject with no solution.
Yeah.
And then there's some the fucking
Huh? Hey,
garbage. So, but with the move that we plan on making pretty soon, all of that's gonna fucking change easily. So we can't have those Reggie Middletons in the conversation.
Richard Victor Dixon says, who Mike V, who is head of the Black Brain Trust, wants to have a meeting. Black Brain Trust are very serious about the transition now.
who?
Mike
Honestly,
V. I don't know who that is.
they're like a group of like STEM people. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. Like their live streams are kind of boring. All they do like they read articles and then they just talk about the article
Mm-hmm.
as regards to black people. I mean, but it's something, you know. My whole thing is with like because you mentioned automation, right? Hollow is
Right.
like I understand why the word adapt is not in black people's vocabulary,
Thank
which is
you.
Oh
ironic.
yeah,
We've been adapting in this country forever since we've been here.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have to do some major
So it's like, what, like
adapting
I don't get that.
because the issue coming up in America specifically is there's automation is trying to take over every industry. Like it, love it, hate it, whatever the fuck you want to feel about it. That's not changing.
yeah,
It's not going. It's not that train is out on the rolling down the tracks and nothing is stopping it. So all of
Exactly.
these people who's anti-technology and don't think that this shit ain't real. Like I said, they basically captured every fucking industry except the service industry, and that's next.
yeah,
Don't think that they ain't trying as hard as they can to get to automate these service industries so they can get rid of this labor, this manual labor. And nobody who's black is fucking talking about it.
yeah. And it's real crazy because we'll be the number one people affected by it. That's
Exactly.
our that's our only calling card is manual labor. Most
Oh,
black
but
people
don't
I know.
worry, don't worry. We got our 50,000 though. That should do the trick.
We got a lump sum of 50K.
Yeah, that should do the trick. And these are the people, but like I said, these are the people that are framing the narrative. When people think about reparations, they think about checks. Why? Because the people fucking bringing the topic to the national discourse are a bunch of fucking morons who
That
don't
have
even believe in nationhood, don't believe in controlling infrastructure. They don't. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if they don't believe in it or they just completely ignorant of it, so they don't know how
They
to talk about it.
they don't because they don't understand economics though. Like they talk a good game, but in order for them to understand infrastructure, they have to understand economics. And within
like
economics, you have to understand the resources. You got to understand the GDP. You got to understand the how you fit in the global in the globe as far as globally. All that plays a part. So the quickest solution for them is what? I want my money.
Yeah.
Show me the money. That's all they
like
want.
easiest question to shut all this shit down. And this is probably why they never like every time like something like one of us or somebody like us mentions it or tries to challenge them on it, they block us.
Yeah, I
If
yeah.
you get a check, right, within American reparations, where's all that money going to? Right back into once you
That's what I
spend it.
said. Yeah, that's what I said before you came on. All they're gonna do is take those checks and spend them to white-owned businesses. They're gonna give it right back to them. And you still,
No, it's not even that. It's not. It doesn't even have to be that. Is that there's no black money. It's still America's
Right.
money.
yeah,
So like, if it's not going anywhere else, if it's only just cycling in here, that's just money that the country is using.
And this is what
yeah,
happens when you have one-dimensional thinkers as leaders. You produce one-dimensional followers.
hmm,
There's no nuance. There's no vision for the future. They're not talking about the subject matter that I hear other people and other ethnic groups and other races talking about. They're looking at the future and trying to figure out how they're going to arrange their society in a way that they can adapt to the
Yep.
changes that are coming.
hmm,
Yep.
What are you going to do in about 12 years or so when the fucking eastern seaboard is flooded over? What are you going to do? Are we talking about that? Because I don't even want to fucking be here.
Right, I can't
But
swim.
nobody's talking. It's like we are so fucking in a bubble, some little narrow sliver of a bubble, talking about problems as if it's not related to the grander things going on in the world. You got to know what's happening in the world if you're going to survive as a people.
Yep.
Because if you, it's like you setting up shop in a place where it's getting ready, the dam is about to break, and the floodgates are going to come through, but you're sitting up there wondering, well, how can I flip this property here? Your head is in the fucking clouds. You're not even looking at what's going on around you.
Because they scared to leave. They scared to leave. That's all it is. A lot of it is fear.
And this is why I try to defend the people, man. How do we expect the people to be any other way than they are if all they have is a bunch of morons talking to them? This is the whole thesis of my book, the fucking
Well,
nigga
so it's not.
manufacturing machine. That's the
Well,
thesis of the book. It's like the nigga manufacturing machine is running like it has German engineering at this point. It is running so good. There's
well,
nothing
it's,
wrong with it.
well,
The
it's
nigga manufacturing machine is operating at full capacity. It's doing
well,
what the fuck it's supposed to do.
well, Holip, it's not that they're talking to them; it's they're talking for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. Exactly. That's my
That is
problem. It's like they are shaping and framing the narrative in a fucked up, stupid way that's gonna do more damage than it does good. It's not gonna really do any good. Even the people that think, well, I can take this 50,000 and I can go to the continent. It's still not doing you any good.
yeah. It's gonna be a matter of time before you go broke on the fucking continent.
Yeah, it's still not doing you any good, man. It's like when are we gonna start thinking as and the whole and like I said, I'll go back to the point that I made before. The whole point of reparations is the collective. What collectively have we experienced as a people in this country? That's what reparations should be about. That's
Yep.
what it is about fundamentally. But they've managed to take something that's about the collective and turn it once again into an individual shit where all everybody is worried about is their own ass and what check they gonna get as an individual. And this is what happens when you have clowns and buffoons and idiots representing you. And then the people that really represent you or could represent you right, those are the people that you attack the most. Who do you think gets attacked more, the BAIO or Wendy Williams?
Oh God.
Cardi B? Who do you think gets attacked more, BAIO or Cardi B?
Yes.
well,
That's
When you ain't
rhetorical,
doing
right?
shit, for our people, they love the fuck out of you. You don't have no problems from them.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing though. Like I said, and I suggest that you guys too, like just if you just read up a little bit on micro and macro economics, we can definitely do this. Just knowing the basics of how to operate. But this let me get a check and don't know what to do with the check is definitely not going to get us anywhere. Um, just like when people come together in like the other groups, they said, "Shit, we need to put together some money, and we're gonna buy up this property, and we're gonna build on it. But we need some stores and stuff to go along with it to provide our needs. So we're gonna put up laundromats, we're gonna put up this gas station, and as time goes, it grows. And guess what? They sustain and they taking care of themselves. You know, they don't need nothing, no outside source to come in and provide for them because they provide for themselves, and that's what uh, they are not talking about. And this is what we're trying to move towards: sustainability of our own, and building. Take our talented tent, so to say, with us, and let's build. We can do it ourselves. It's been plenty of time that they've done it, but they just did it in the wrong place. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely correct.
trying to find the interview that we did with Reggie Middleton. Our brother Thomas actually interviewed him. I'm going to post that in the group because there's a sister in the group who says that we're not paying attention to the ADOS movement, that we don't know what it's all about. And I think she's missing the point. Paula Barnett. She says the economists they cite most: Sandy Darity, Derek Hamilton, Claude Anderson. Again, I believe none of the panelists, she's talking about us, have actually looked into what the ADOS movement is about. I can say for me, I looked at the ADOS website, and I looked at their agenda.
Yeah, that's what I
So we
did.
know exactly what it's. I will never get on a broadcast talking about shit that I don't know about. I know their position. I've
Yeah.
done videos. All you gotta do is go back through my files. I've done videos on their position. I disagree with it.
And she mentioned Claude Anderson. Claude Anderson is basically has one foot going in the direction that they should, from the stuff that I've seen that he's been talking about recently. Because he's coming out and starting to come to the realization that no matter what black people own, it seems like for the few black business people who do try to own stuff in the community, they get bought out by somebody else or they sell their stuff. So it's like, well, this kind of stuff wouldn't happen if we just had a nation of our own or some land.
How about this? This is a quote, and I put this on Facebook. I don't know. Usually when it's the quotes that I think is important, it really don't get no feedback. If I put something about some bullshit, it'll get like 60,000 people checking
I
it out.
remember that.
But when I do something that I really want people to look at and get some feedback on, all I get is dead silence. This is a quote from Peter Joseph. It says, "You can't have any system. You can't have any behavior in a system that isn't reinforced by the system. If it isn't structurally reinforced, it doesn't matter what your moral code is. People are always going to deviate toward what actually works." Does anybody understand what the fuck that means?
Yep.
So all of this stuff that people think that they're going to do, you're going against the tide. The system is going to configure itself in a way that it fights and protects itself. So if you're going against the tide, your success ratio is going to be very low. And this is what I'm trying to get these people to understand. Like
They
I
don't want to
said,
hear
it's
you
like a
though.
person it's like a person who gets gastric bypass surgery and doesn't change their eating habits. Their eating habits is the reason why they're fat.
Right.
Right.
If you don't address the core problem, then how could you fix anything? And reparations is a quick fix. Now, let me ask Paula, do you disagree with that? And can you give me some type of justification as to why? Because I get the sense that just because we are challenging reparations in the way that they're presenting it, that people think that we're against reparations. I'm not. Hell,
No.
if I had a football team and I wanted them to beat another team, why am I the bad guy? Because I want them to have uniforms and training and coaches. Other people just say, well, why don't you just put them out there and let them play the fucking Patriots? They're going to get smashed into the fucking ground. Can we at least have a fighting chance? It's like nobody, like I said, we don't have intellectuals in our community that are on the mic front and center.
No.
We got to hear the sad part about this is we got to hear this shit from some dipshit in Brooklyn. That's who we got to hear this from. Why do I know this shit? And I'm fucking here trying to provide food, clothing and shelter for myself. and do this stuff while I'm doing that. I don't have the educational level of all of the vast majority of these people. How come I can figure this shit out and you can't? How come I'm talking about it and feel that it's important, and the people that have all the degrees in the fucking world ain't doing shit? That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, okay. Now I see what you're talking about. Oh, Paula. Oh, so you talking? Oh, I thought you was talking about from a prior video, but okay, I'm looking in the chat now. I see what you're talking about. Okay.
This whole crap about we can't go anywhere to build without capital. We have capital. The problem with black folks is not money. You can't tell me we ain't got no money when we sustain a fucking $1 trillion spending habit. Do you have money? The problem is you don't have the consciousness.
It's going in all the wrong directions. That's what's the problem is. It's not that we don't have money. We're spending it on the wrong shit.
Yo, Paula, let me ask you a question. If we don't have no money, why do people have super chats and Patreons? Why do the people that's telling you that black folks ain't got no money constantly asking black folks for money? Is that just me? What? Am I crazy for thinking that? Or is that a fucking contradiction? Or is it an out and out lie? You know we have money. If we didn't have money, there wouldn't be people doing this shit, making a living and a career off of it. I don't make a goddamn dime off of YouTube. So you can trust me. There's nobody putting no money in my pocket for me to say the things that I'm saying. I'm not making a dime. When you go on my videos, if you don't believe me, go and click on one of my videos on my channel and see if an ad pops up.
Well, if you got ad blocker, that ain't gonna work, obviously. But
no, ad blocker don't work on the YouTube videos.
Yeah,
You still
it
get
doesn't,
ads.
man.
Yeah, it don't.
I don't know ad blocker.
Sometimes I just want to listen to some
We
music.
ain't got no money, but hit me up on my Patreon.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
See, Paula's depending on reparations. She's waiting for that check, to build a nation. I mean, like you just went and explained to her, we have money. It's just that we're not using it to build our own
Here's
shit.
something that's real simple from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Oh, peace. What's up, Ishmael? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we can take $10 a month from black people in America and build a fund. Do we need reparations to do that? How much does a pack of cigarettes cost in New York City? About $14, $15? I don't know. I don't smoke, but I know it's high.
Yeah, it's high.
And people get packs of cigarettes. What? Some people are real smokers. They get them like damn near every day. But some people, let's just say you get them 4 times a month. That's once a week you get a pack of cigarettes. That's damn near $50 a month. So you mean to tell me we can't dedicate $10 a month? If we had, see, the problem is, and this is, I get back to it again. I'm here on YouTube with a limited audience. Nobody fucking listens to me. I'm not known. I'm not a major player in this. So I can make these statements and say, hey, we need to start an African American fund where we can put $10 a month into this fund and build it up and invest and do it. And we have a board of people who's competent that can invest the money and do this and that. I can say that all fucking day long. Who fucking cares? But if Cardi B says it, you know how much money she would have in fucking one day? If Cardi B all of a sudden like got possessed by the spirit of Nat Turner or something and got on the microphone or on Twitter and said, yo, I'm starting an African American fund to fuck these white people. We need to build our own. You know how much money she would fucking have?
Well, not anymore, because I don't know if you've been listening to the community about her. They
still
bound.
That's inconsequential. They still buying her shit, just like they buying R. Kelly shit.
Yeah.
If R. Kelly said it, you know how much money they would make?
Yeah.
You see, that's the problem. We are listening to the R. Kellys, we're listening to the Cardi B's, we're listening to everybody else, and we don't pay no attention to the people that's really doing something until they fucking dead.
Yeah.
Then now all of a sudden, oh shit, so and so was deep. So and so was trying to do this.
Bro,
well, what the fuck? How come I didn't hear about it until after he was dead? If it was that important to you.
Not a new thing is that you saw in the chat yesterday. I put Now they're trying to say that Nipsey Hussle is now biracial now because his dad is from Eritrea. I'm like, yo, like, what the
Just
fuck are
another
y'all
thing
talking
to
about,
fucking
yo?
talk about. Another thing
Yeah,
for people to try to break down
Yo, like,
and
why? Like, why does?
Negro stalling tactics run amok.
Everybody's an expert on somebody that passed away
Yeah,
about shit he was doing.
yeah.
Come on, I
I
hate
had to,
that. That really annoys me.
I had to shut it down. I'm like, so if you're going based on the phenotype, good luck with that. That's not gonna
yeah,
tell you somebody's genetics.
yeah, and
So
then yeah, and the crazier part was that NBC did an article like shortly after he died and talked about how tried to basically let the LGBT community take over his death, and basically was like, well, Nipsey Hussle. I'm not sure they were saying that he was anti-gay or whatever the hell, but they were like basically trying to use his death to talk about black, like how the African American community is anti-gay or whatever the hell. Like it was the
yeah,
same
because
thing they
yeah,
doing.
I know.
You saw
He
it?
made a post. Yeah, he made a post like last year or so talking about like just young black kids, like black males. He's
Mhm.
like how they're strong. Like he's just talking about because he said straight, so that's why.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah.
the only reason why we even entertaining that bullshit because we living in somebody else's land, going by their
Exactly.
rules.
Mhm.
It's stuff that we don't even have to play this game if we was actually in our own context. The very thing that everybody keeps fighting us on is saying that we don't, because it's just straight up cowardice, man. You're scared. You're scared to have something of your own, just like a teenager is scared to move out their parents' house. Because you
Yeah.
don't want to deal with bills, you don't want to deal with laundry, you don't want to deal with taking care of your fucking living spaces. You want to rely on your parents to do it, and then you're going to put your hands on your hips and act bad with them.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, we don't even have to entertain it for some because we still have this innate thing that we got to explain everything like our ideologies to people when we really don't.
Right.
We could just say what we say and just not give a fuck. But for some odd reason, the masses of black people still feel like they got to explain everything to other people. So
And to be honest with you, a lot of these issues, these social issues that everybody got a problem with, I'm calling bullshit anyway. I really am. Because if you really had a problem with it, you know what you would do? You would create your own fucking nation and have your nation the way that you want it to be.
but then that's when the white man and Thanos come.
Yeah, that's of
So
course.
you see all these layers of deflection with these people.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's funny. Like I'm
If the
thinking about.
white man can, if the white man can destroy your nation on the continent, what the fuck you think he gonna do to your nation in America? How is that exempt? So you don't want to establish a nation on the continent, but you want to establish some I won't even call it side of that nation, some community here in America. And what the fuck you think is gonna? Well, actually, we don't have to guess. We already know. We
yeah.
already have historic examples of what fucking happened
Yeah,
to it.
many of accounts of it. What's going to happen?
But yet
So
they can do that over and over and over again. But Liberia, oh Liberia, that's it for nationhood. No more nationhood for us.
Yeah, I don't understand their position with using Liberia. Liberia was taken down from the inside out by uh
by
yeah, by
multiple
multiple
countries, not even
people.
just
Yeah, the
America.
people who were in the Americano when they were in control of it. Liberia was a thriving nation on the rise.
And it lasted for 160 years to do for before. I don't consider
Yeah.
that as I don't consider that a failure. I mean, ultimately it was a failure, but I consider it a learning experience.
Yeah, I don't understand why that is a constant talking point for them.
Because it avoid I know why, because they want to point to something that didn't work so they can say let's not do it again. And my point has always been, how come you never use that philosophy in any other thing except power for your people? You don't use it with your sports teams. You know what
Yeah.
happens when your team loses? You get sad, you go out and drink with your friends, and then you root for them the next year.
Right.
You don't ever
Yeah.
give up on them and say, "Oh, we lost this year. That's it for me. I'm no more football for me. No more basketball for me. No more baseball for me." You understand clearly the concept of loss, and that the
Right.
loss does not define you.
Yeah, that's another thing. They all define themselves by their defeats.
Yeah,
It's like when you have how big of a fucking loser are you? Like really? Okay, Muhammad. It's like, do y'all look at Muhammad? Do y'all define Muhammad Ali by the fact that he lost to a fighter who only had 7 fights in their whole fucking career?
Right.
Like, no, y'all don't. Y'all still look at him as the greatest boxer of all time.
Michael
You know,
Jordan says that he's missed more shots than he's made. If he
I
was
don't
to
know.
look, if he was to look at his career just in general, and he's talking about not only in the game but in practice and everything, he's missed a lot of shots.
Well,
How
I'm
come you
too
don't
young to know.
remember him for the shots that he missed? You remember him for the shots that he made.
Well, Patrick Ewing is
Right.
for the shot that he missed.
Huh?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you miss when the time is right, that's usually what you remember. But the
Oh
point
man.
is, you never give up.
Yeah, and these people have basically surrendered,
Yeah,
and it's just like, okay, well, if you're gonna do that, I might as well tell King Menelik of Ethiopia, he might as well just surrender to Italy. The brothers and
yeah,
sisters over there might as well be speaking Italian.
right. Just give
So
up across the
Give
board
it a
because
chance.
that's my thing. If you're not going to fight, then give up.
yeah, it's like, just give me 100,000 black people, man. We could do
We
that.
don't even need that many.
Well,
Look.
I'm just throwing out a number. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, just give me somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000. We can get it done. But this goes go back to that brother who tried to go at you on Diane Nash's show a while back when he's talking about don't support, don't give these people any resources, don't do nothing, but if they get the fucking nation stay up and running, they're going to benefit from it.
hmm
Wait, who
I
said that?
said, oh, I must have forgot to tell everybody. Yeah, Holip was, I think it's what 2-3 weeks ago. Yeah,
yeah.
he was on Diane Nash's show, and I think it was kind of the similar topic we're on now.
Wait, was it with
And
that dude that was trying to come at Holland for not going to the continent? Was it that?
No, it was another dude.
no,
It was
no,
on that
no,
same
no,
show
it was
though.
No.
on that same
Oh,
show
okay.
though. Yeah, but he had said, uh, he says that what we're saying is not feasible. Reparations is the
Oh
only thing.
yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that
Yeah, he said, nobody should give anything to the BAIO or support what we're doing agenda wise. But if the nation state gets up and running and it is
yeah.
successful,
Then
then
he'll follow like a little
yeah, then
sheep.
they'll,
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
I,
then
that.
they'll,
this is funny. Paula says if we can't get on one accord, the money is scattered, which is exactly the point that we are all making on this line
I don't
right
know why
now. So
because
thank you for agreeing with us, Paula, because
see
that's
because
exactly what we're saying.
you seem to be
And
more focused on the money.
I already know what mindset she's on, or if it even is a she. They're still on this. You got to save every black person, and it's like you don't need to do that.
no,
You get
No.
like I don't know why that's still a lot of
if you're putting
people's
together,
head.
how many people well, how many people on a basketball team or a football team, like amount of players on each team?
Oh, I know 75 for the NFL. If you count
75 players.
if you count the practice squad, special teams, everything together, it's 75
Okay,
total.
did the New England Patriots have to get every goddamn football player in the United States of America, or did they pick 75 of them?
Exactly.
Like I said, the problem is people think they don't connect the dots, man. This is real, just logical thinking. It's not that fucking complicated.
Yeah, it's really simple, but
Yeah.
it's because we think logically. A lot of these people are thinking reactionary.
Yeah, and
Here's
go ahead, man. I'll go ahead.
here's the best. Here's something that I can like just to so they can relate to. So to see what we're talking about in November, what are we doing?
Odin.
Going to Rwanda.
Oh,
Okay,
that.
going to Rwanda. What are we doing before we go to Rwanda? What are we doing now? We planning it, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, and as we planning it, we putting our money together, right?
Yep.
Right.
That money is going towards exactly. That money is going towards the freaking the Rwanda trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we all benefit from that because we put our money together to do that one thing. It's the same concept as building your own nation. Everybody come in, they pool their money together, and we build something together
Right.
for the whole, not for yourself. Like, oh, I just want 50,000. My 50,000 is only going towards me.
Right.
It don't work like that. So
I was actually just looking
until
at a video from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, and I'll go.
no, go ahead.
No, because I was actually just listening to my old clip from Amos Wilson. I've really been like really fucking with him lately. Like the last month, I've just been like listening to all his videos, man. Like just clips and stuff.
I still can't get enough of Amos Wilson, man.
Yeah, I
Like
saw
so
2 videos and I've been on it.
yeah, so it's like he actually it's actually similar to what you just mentioned with the Rwanda trip. But what we're doing is totally different. It's not like we just go in there just like I guess to quote unquote I guess do a spirit walk or something like that. But he was saying like people having all these trips to Egypt and stuff, spending like thousands of dollars, and like you get like 100 people. You know how much money that is?
Mm-hmm.
If you would just do that here instead of just going on these yearly Egypt trips that
Yep.
don't do
You
anything
remember?
for
You
you.
remember? Yeah, you remember the conversation we had? You remember I said the conversation we had about the trip, about how much money it's going to
Yeah,
cost each individual person. I
yeah,
said instead of us going on a trip, we can take that money right there. If it's yearly, and I broke it down into months, how much you would have to pay a month of putting that money in for one trip, it would be like $75,000. So if you and that's off for 24 people. So just
Mm-hmm.
imagine if we have 50,000 people, just 50,000 times $3,000 or $4,000. That's all
Right.
it takes.
Right.
Come
Yeah.
on. People are so scared to say, "Oh, this can work." No, you want to do it here and still be subjected to the same shit that you've been crying about on the news, talking about, "Oh, my baby." No, let's move so your baby won't be part of that problem, a part of that statistic. Come on. We have the means, we have the money. You just don't have the will to move yourself from the situation. I think some people like to be victims, though. That's what I
hey,
think,
I'm gonna be right back.
honestly.
Like I'm bringing all my supplies in the house, so give me like 10 to 15 minutes.
You want me to mute you, or you gonna mute yourself?
I'm gonna just hang up. I'm gonna be on my computer in 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But
It's
that
like
but that does make sense, though, right?
of course it does. But see, the problem, Dundada, is that people are the people that are not down with nationhood are basically a bunch of selfish motherfuckers who only see things from their own individual perspective. So when you take a Negro like that and introduce the concept of reparations to them, the only thing they're thinking about is their opportunity to get a big lump sum check for themselves and what they would do with it personally. They're not thinking about anything systemic. They're not thinking about solving our systemic problems. They want a check. And they think that that check is going to help them get whatever they want to get, and that's their form of happiness. They don't care about the future. If they cared about the future, they would be listening to us.
Yep.
They don't care about the future. All they care about is getting a check.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm hoping that we can attract some really intelligent people. And we've been doing a good job at it. There's really, like, when I see the skill set of the people that's coming into the BAIO, I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Because we're attracting those type of people that we want to attract. I'm getting tired of talking to knuckleheads who only care about their fucking self.
So hold on. As you was talking, we said 50,000 is the minimum, right? We was talking about
Well,
people.
yeah, but
I'm just saying, just generally, just 50,000.
go ahead.
I just use that as a round
Yeah,
figure.
you're just gonna use that as a round figure. 50,000, and you tell someone $5,000 just to contribute. You know how much money that is, and you know what we could do with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's $250 million that we can present to some land or some country in Africa to
Thank you.
start consulting or actually starting a business, starting a small consulting business, and we start expanding. How hard is that? $250
Thank
million,
you.
50,000 people,
Dundada,
$5,000. That's all we asking.
the problem, Dundada, is that you're not at the table. You don't have the biggest microphone, because I would love to have you make that pitch that case for us. But the problem is you got people in control of the narrative that ain't even fucking thinking about what you just said. Because you're right.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do it the individual route. Everybody gets an individual check for $50,000. But if we had leadership that was actually intelligent, they would say, you know what? Keep your 45,000. Take 5,000 of it to put toward this nationhood plan so that we can start establishing a land of our own off the shores of America. It's as simple as
Yep.
that. But are you hearing that? No, you ain't hearing that. All you hearing about is begging the government. What the fuck is transformative government?
Where'd you hear that at?
People acting like I haven't read this shit. I read the site. I know what they're talking about, and I disagree with it.
Oh, there's Kofi.
Transformative government. What the fuck is that? That's like some high-tech begging to me. You expecting white folks in the United States government to fix black folks' problems? And why would they do that when they're benefiting from $1 trillion economy from us? We just giving trillions of dollars to these people every year. But they want to fix us and make sure that we are good American citizens. We are good American citizens for them. Haven't you ever heard the expression that a black man's hell is a white man's heaven and vice versa?
Oh, yeah.
They have no vested interest to help us as a community when they benefit from our dysfunction. The only people that's really hurting from our dysfunction is black people. Am I lying? Who are we killing? White folks ain't dying by black hands in America like that. We mainly killing each other. Why? Because we in the condition that they created for us and suffering, and all we doing is abusing ourselves because we don't want to attack the person who put us in here or attack things systematically to solve our problems. All we want to do is handle everything as a bunch of fucking scattered individuals. And then we wonder how come we can't do it. And then you looking at groups, ethnic groups, and complaining about how unified they are. Even the goddamn home. That's why, if you notice, it's certain things that I don't even touch because I'm gonna start bringing up history, and you motherfucking gonna be embarrassed. The fucking homosexuals were able to establish a power base in New York City. If anybody ever been to New York City, the Village is theirs. That's like Crips and Bloods of homosexuals. That's they set. And you know how they got it? They were all over. They used to go. They were trying to find place. It's called the Stonewall riots. If you want to look it up, you can look it up if you think I'm lying. And this is embarrassing. The gay community was trying to find places where they can go and socialize at night. And what would happen is they kept getting raided. So they had to, like, if they found a place, the place would get raided, and then they would have to go somewhere else. And it happened so much that Stonewall was the place where they decided that this is going to be our last stand. You ain't fucking moving us from here. And they went into a week-long battle with the NYPD in New York City that lasted for a week. And what came as a result of that? The fucking Village is now theirs, basically. That's their set. That's where they live. That's where they congregate. If the fucking, that's why I don't want to hear shit you telling me about no fucking gay people and some gay agenda. These motherfuckers were able to come together politically to establish something of their own, and your motherfucking straight ass can't do it. You should be embarrassed by that. And this is history. If you're going to talk shit, go and check it out for yourself. Yet you got a problem. You just fucking homo. These homos are way ahead of you. You should be embarrassed by that. When did you ever stand up and take a stand against the NYPD or the LAPD and decide that this is our set, this is our home, you're not going to come in here disrespecting us? But yet you got all this energy for being anti-homosexual. You're full of shit, man. All these motherfuckers is full of shit. If you ain't about nationhood, I'm not trying to hear a fucking thing that you got to say. Because all you're doing is engaging in Negro stalling tactics to get away from what you really should be doing, which is coming together with people of like mind and trying to establish something. Stop me when I'm fucking lying.
Yeah. But in a way, black people have always kind of been like that. It's been something that we've done for a long time. A long time.
We got problems with them. We got problems with the Puerto Ricans. We got problems with the Mexicans. We got problems with every motherfucker who's looking out for their own best interests. I ain't got no problem with any of these groups. Because like I said, the only people that fear an agenda are the people that don't have one. Ain't nobody else talking about nobody's agenda except fucking black folks. Why? Because we don't have a fucking agenda.
Nope. They don't
And the
even know what
only
an
reason
agenda
why,
is.
and that this ain't even low key because I've mentioned this before. The only reason why we talking about reparations is because there's a presidential election coming up. Once that
Yep.
presidential election is over, you ain't gonna be hearing
Yep.
shit about no fucking reparations.
Yep.
Who you
Hmm.
think you clowning, man? I've been through this before. I've seen this before.
Yep.
So now reparations is the black agenda now. Yeah, the black agenda just happened to come along when they knew that the 2020 election was coming up.
And
Fuck
they
out of here,
and
man.
they're talking to Donald Trump of all people. He's not going to agree to that.
And nobody else has agreed to it. Everybody who said that they for reparations, you know what they for? They're not for actual reparations because nobody fucking listens. Nobody listens. They just attach themselves. They react emotionally to buzzwords.
Right.
So if somebody says, "Oh yes, I agree with reparations." Oh God, so and so for reparations. Let's vote for them. No, nigga, listen. Every one of those presidential candidates, if anything, you know who is the most honest? Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders was the most honest. When they asked him about reparations, he said, "What's that? Like, what do you mean?" Oh, you mean checks for individuals? No, I'm not for that. He was honest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody else is bullshitting you. Every other candidate who's on that Democratic platform is agreed for reparations. You know what they're saying? We want reparations. We want to have a study of reparations.
Yeah.
We want to have a committee about reparations. They're not saying they for reparations and for actually giving black folks money. Are you that fucking stupid? Are you deaf that you can't hear what they fucking saying?
Oh man.
And then the
Yeah.
honest person, you dog, and people that's blowing smoke up your ass, you giving them props. That's how fucking, like I said, I can't really blame people because we have a bunch of fucking morons who's leading the pack, who's got the biggest ass microphones, who's doing the most talking. We don't have any fucking intellectuals, no brilliant people. Like if I want to hear about economics, listen to Reggie Middleton. I posted the link there. Listen to Reggie Middleton. Brilliant dude. Thomas in our group. Brilliant.
Yeah. I like Thomas. Thomas cool.
Brilliant dude. Those are the guys who I feel confident. If we was going to design an economic system, I would feel so confident with them doing it. Because they know this shit inside and out. I'm the type of person that if I want something done, I want the qualified people to get it done. If somebody's going to do electricity in my house, I want it to be a licensed electrician,
Yep.
Yeah.
not some dude who knows electricity. I want a licensed fucking electrician. If I want to get a painter, I want somebody that actually knows how to fucking paint.
Yeah.
If you're going to work on my gas pipe, you better goddamn be a licensed gas heating contractor. This stuff makes so much sense when you look at it from your real life, but then when it comes to us as a people, we have this disconnect. I'm sorry,
Only
man.
thing they see is you're good. Only thing they see is money, checks. Money
Yeah.
speaks for a lot of when they throw money out there, instantly they think of relieving themselves of debt that they occurred with throughout the years or whatever.
Hmm.
That's still not solving the problem of what you don't have. You still have to follow the rules. You still have to continue go through the same bullshit that our ancestors before us been going through, which we are continuing doing today. It's just in a different form. It's just in a different way. It's the same shit, just in a different way. New
Right.
time, same shit. So
Hmm.
come on, like
And like I said, look at the examples. We have the black folks that was here in America right out of slavery decided they were going to establish something in Liberia, and they did it with what I would imagine far less resources than we have available to us right now. And they did it.
Yeah.
Rwanda was basically devastated from a fucking genocidal war
Yep.
20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, about 20 years ago. Look what they were able to do in 20 years' time.
Look how they did it.
Yeah.
Yo, I love them, man. I love what they did and how they came together. Put that shit aside. We can't even put the dumb bullshit. Oh, because he light skinned? Come on. That shit, that shit like stupid shit like that. Stop us from moving forward.
Like I said, you're never going to have any progress made when you have people that have no sense of urgency giving you advice.
Yeah.
So you're starving. You can't put no food on. You got to struggle to put food on the table to make sure your kids eat. You got to pay this rent even though you ain't got it. You've robbing Peter to pay Paul, but yet you got a rich person who's making over $250,000 a year, which is rich because most people ain't making that.
Yeah.
And they're on TV giving advice on the economy, giving advice on, I don't think single payer health care is reasonable. Who gives a fuck what you think, nigga? You think you got to struggle to go to the doctor? You go to any fucking doctor you want to because you can afford it.
Yep.
And we're always listening to the wrong people. And this is my problem, man. This has been my biggest problem since I got on YouTube. I've been attacking black leadership because our people need to be listening to people who know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
You would think that, but it's not going to happen. It's all about popularity.
Amazing,
it's all about popularity.
Man.
Just like you said, if Cardi B say, "Hey, let's go ahead and let's fund our money together and do our own shit." Yep, they'll jump right on it.
I've seen so many. The power of celebrity. The only person that I really know who used the power of celebrity to the maximum was Muhammad Ali. That's not to say that he's not the only. There are other athletes, like I like LeBron and all of them. There's other people doing things. But in terms of who I felt used their celebrity to the maximum, it was Muhammad Ali. You know what Muhammad Ali would do? He would come into, let's say, he would come into New York, right? And give an exclusive interview to the Amsterdam News. Now think about that. He wouldn't talk to the Daily News, wouldn't talk to the main. He would give a exclusive to the Amsterdam. So then what does that do for Amsterdam as a paper? Now everybody's buying it.
Yep.
That's how Ali would use his celebrity. He would use his celebrity to build up people.
Yeah. Yeah. We need another. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but
no, it would be nice if you. Yeah. But my thing is, I don't blame the celebrities because it's all a part of the system, man. And this is why I get back to the quote that I quoted you from Peter Joseph that I really believe in. And I put it on my page. I wish I'm trying to find a way that I can tag it to my thing, but I'll read it again. And then until you really understand this, all you're going to be doing is swimming against the tide and then wondering why you can't gain no ground. And in case nobody heard the quote goes like this: you can't have any behavior in a system that isn't reinforced by the system. If it isn't structurally reinforced, it doesn't matter what your moral code is. People are always going to deviate toward what actually works. Meaning, if anybody's confused by that, structure reinforcement means you reinforce the behavior that you want people to have in your society.
Yep.
So what's structurally reinforced in this society? Robbing, stealing, lying. is structurally reinforced in the American system. You get more money, you get more notoriety, you have more success if you lie, cheat, and steal.
Yeah, all of that's true. I
So
mean, we got
if you want a society where you have people that don't lie, cheat, and steal, then you got to reinforce a society where people that are actually righteous, that's reinforced. People that don't steal, that's reinforced. People that don't lie and tell the truth, that's reinforced. If you don't have in the structural infrastructure of your system, those reinforcing things that makes the system get stronger and produces what you want the system to produce, then what you're going to have is what you have now. You can have a kid that you raise and you tell them, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 don't dress this way, don't eat this, da, 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 which will last until they get into fucking public school.
Exactly.
And now they go away from your house, the confines of your little bubble, and now they're out there with McDonald's and pizza and this and that and candy and whatever. And so what? You think at their age, they're not going to engage in things that you kept away from them? That's why people wondering, why is my kid gay? Why is my kid doing this? Why is he involved in drugs? Because you kept it from them, and it's like that forbidden fruit. You keep it from them and try to protect them from it, and then when they're not around you and they get in front of it, they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, what's this? I never had this before. Maybe I should try it out. Maybe what they're saying about it is not what it really is."
All right, I'm back, peeps.
all right. What's up, Pat?
All right, so what I miss now?
Just me running my mouth, nothing much.
I go ahead and continue.
But yeah, like I was just saying, the point I was making is, you can raise your kids a certain way, but eventually they got to go out into the world.
Exactly.
It's good to give them a good, proper foundation. You know, that's nothing wrong with that. Give them a good foundation, but be honest and be real with them and let them know what they're stepping out into. Because don't be surprised if they start exhibiting behavior that you like, well, wow, damn, why is my son dating all these dudes? And you wondering, scratching your head, shit, what the fuck happened? Why is my kid, cracked out? Why is my girl a hoe? And you sitting there wondering why, and then you because you're living in fucking America where it's like a buffet of debauchery. Why you think people trying to get over here? You living in a country where they telling you your women can't wear this, and then you come to America where everybody ass is out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a fucking candy store.
Yep.
So what type of society do we want to create? And if we want to exhibit certain characteristics and certain behaviors from our citizens, then we got to have a system that reinforces that behavior. If not, the citizens are going to do what the system gives them the most success at doing.
Yep.
So lying, cheating, stealing is what they're going to do because the system in America reinforces lying, cheating, stealing. Every story you see about some rich person in America, you can make a movie out of it. How they done screwed somebody over, how they was Machiavellian, rise to power, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody came to be no billionaire by being Mr. Rogers.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah. So yeah, I haven't seen that show. I think it's on MSN or something like that. It's called Greed. You ever see that?
I haven't heard of
It sounds familiar.
So what they do is they show you, just like what Holip was talking about, like nobody just get rich just like that. Yeah, it's lying, stealing, cheating, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. What they do is they show they do a story on whatever individual or individuals about how they got to where they at right now. The famous one was the Ponzi scheme with
Bernie
Madoff. Yeah, so he kind of fits into that greed category. So you see how it works. Like, yeah, it's built on corruption. So come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty good show, though. You see how people get through, and I mean, how people been like backdooring a lot of shit, and they just happen to just get caught up. Doing it for years. It ain't no shit that they just did one time. This shit's been going on for 10, 15 years. Oh, we finally caught him 30 years. What?
Yeah, like the Wolf of Wall Street. That was a hell of a movie, but it was fucking sinister.
Yeah. Yeah, we trying to figure out how we gonna get how we trying to be rich like that, not knowing that what they did to get to where they at. You know what I'm saying? This shit's not gonna happen with
Yeah.
black people. It ain't gonna last that long.
Yeah, but it's like I guess the main point of this whole thing is we got to start looking at things systematically if we're going to solve systemic problems. We can't solve them with individual solutions. We can't solve them with this. I'm going to get a check, and it's so pitiful. $50,000 is nothing.
That's a whole salary for a year.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing.
So you
It's
want
nothing.
400 plus years to then get
A
limited.
year's salary,
Yeah, year salary.
and then if you don't negotiate it right, they're going to tax it.
Oh yeah.
Then that 50,000 be like 10 or 20, like
Yeah.
10, maybe less. Well, at least you could pay your car note.
Yeah. And isn't that a great reparations for slavery? Well, I paid my car note. I guess
Credit, right?
that's the equivalent of 400 years of impoverishment and oppression and domination. Yeah, you paid your car off. I want to
Yeah,
have
that's
a show,
crazy.
Patrick. I want to request a show next time you do your live stream.
Hmm.
Can we talk about automation? Like have a full-blown conversation about automation and its effects on the economy and society and going into the future. Is that something you would find interesting?
Yeah, we could do that, but just with me personally, I'm not into well, not yet, I should say, because I only know some scripting,
Hmm.
but that's not what I do. But I can definitely give you my insight on it, yeah, and
Yeah.
how it could benefit us.
Next time you have a live stream, that would be my request because I would love for us to have a conversation about that. Because
I'll probably get some of the dudes from the Black Brain Trust to come in.
yeah,
They're
that
more
would be cool.
knowledgeable on that.
That would be cool. Because these are the things that we need to at least if we don't, I know that in the mainstream we don't have anybody talking about it. You won't hear any talk show hosts, you won't hear any radio hosts, you don't see no movie stars or athletes or anybody. Nobody, there's not one fucking black person who's talking about having a nation of our own that's in the public eye. Nobody. If you know them, please put their name in this fucking chat room and let me, because I want to learn so I can just go run into wherever their social media is.
Right.
Who's talking about it besides us? But you
I
know
don't.
what?
Yeah.
Cool. We gonna do it, y'all.
Yeah, I don't even understand why anybody would push back. Why any sane, rational person would push back. Against
Against it,
nature.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's like okay, like I had an incident when as a child. Growing up, we used to go to the beach a lot. So sometimes the other, when you're like 6 or 7, you want to try to make friends, or they building sandcastles on the beach. So I wanted to go play. They didn't want to play with me, so I wouldn't say ahead and said fuck it. I'll go build my own fucking sandcastle and be the king. Like black people
Yeah.
don't think like that. Like wouldn't it make sense if you built your own shit, owned your own shit?
Hmm.
They just
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
It
That's because
depends
we.
on your mindset. Like you either if there's a lot of teams playing in the NFL, but there's only a few teams that's actually going for the goal.
Yeah.
Just because you're a team and just because you're in a league, it don't mean you're actually trying to win. As a matter of fact, a lot of these team owners use their teams as tax write-offs. See the New York Knicks.
Oh yeah.
So when somebody is on your team that's a good player that actually can make y'all go to the championship, you go, oh, whoa, nigga, we gotta trade this dude. Because you trying to get out here and win games. Listen, I'm trying to get my taxes straight.
Yeah, and then we talk about winning.
Right. So so everybody in the game ain't trying to win it, and that's where can put us black folks collectively, because individual black folks can claim that they trying to win it, but my question is, who's your coach? Is he trying to win it? Who's your coach? What's his name? Where your coach is. Fuck the coach. Who's your head coach and where the coach is at? Who's trying to win this game?
That's
Right.
what you're gonna get. So.
Exactly. Because you know your coaches ain't trying to win shit. You don't even have no coaches. Like I said, it's a bunch of people. I can take a bunch of brothers in street clothes, and we're gonna play the New England Patriots. What do you think is gonna happen?
Tom
But
Brady.
they all got the desire to win, though, Patrick.
Yeah, y'all all gonna be. Your team's gonna be playing rugby. The other team's gonna be playing American football.
Right.
Y'all gonna get smacked because I have no to protect that from that.
Yeah, Tom Brady's gonna throw fucking 400 touchdowns in one game. Make you
Exactly. And we don't have no helmets and no uniforms on.
Oh, say goodbye to your knees.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all gonna
There's
be
gonna be
playing
a
rugby.
bunch of unconscious people out on the game on the thing. We probably gonna get disqualified for having too many men on the field.
Game probably won't even start. We're like, whoa, what y'all doing?
Do y'all know how to do
Everybody's
this?
gonna have a concussion.
Right.
The
Do y'all
whole
know
team.
Do y'all know
You'll
how to
have
do the coin toss?
75 players on the field with concussions.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy.
But you know what? I'm encouraged because we've made a lot of headway in the BAIO, and we get new people every day. And it's only a matter because, like, the reason why I'm encouraged because I know how the internet works and I know how things usually go. Is that everything takes a while for it to like make its way through the system
Yeah.
and get a groundswell. So when you come out with a new group or anything, you got to keep constantly putting out content until it starts to permeate throughout the web.
Yeah.
And more eyes will start to be on it. More people start paying attention to it. Keep in mind, I'm just talking about the online stuff. We're not even talking about the offline stuff as well.
Right.
And then eventually, it takes, you wake up one day and then you see, shit, how do we get 10,000 members?
Yeah.
In one day? Like, how did that happen? What the fuck?
Yeah. I always wanted to know why the BAIO didn't have a larger, didn't have more members than what it did.
I think that if people listen to this broadcast or this live stream and just listen to another alternative point of view, maybe we're saying something that nobody ever heard before or heard it put the way that we're putting it. And it might make them go, I wonder who else is saying this. Nobody. Well, let me rock with these dudes.
Yeah.
That's what I hear. Like, what's his name? Ronan Black is in the group. Peace to him. Peace to everybody actually in the group. I'm sorry I haven't addressed the chat.
Yeah.
But
let me
Ronan
check
Black
my
said,
name as my names channel because I think he has a good. You came to see his follow count.
Hey Pat, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
What is your whole opinion on buying black? Do you think that will solve all our problems?
It won't solve all of our problems, but it's a start.
And what about the factoring in that most of the black businesses don't own their own like manufacturing anything? Like everything they own comes from a white manufacturer, or a lot of the times they're not even American. How do you think that factors in?
or Chinese.
Or Chinese?
That's expected since again we don't have anything.
Right.
So that's expected. Now I'm not against it, but like right now, but in the future, that I probably still wouldn't be against it because it is cheaper. Hence why most people go to China to get stuff manufactured because they see a bigger return as opposed to other manufacturers. But the quality is different. That's a different conversation.
That's what I was saying. Yeah,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Does Paul Kagame have to tell Rwandans to buy black?
Nope.
No. And before we started, that's where I was about to, get to. But no, he doesn't.
Why?
Well, you got to think about it too as the number one thing. What I said earlier was resource.
Exactly.
You don't have no resources or the land part. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to explain why he doesn't have to tell Rwandans to buy black because we assume people know why we said that, but why? Why does he have to do that?
Because it's already a black country. They already have their own land. They have
I think I saw recently. They actually have they like start like pushing more for Rwanda manufacturing, so they don't have to go out.
Yeah,
exactly. That will make
yeah.
more sense. Yeah.
That's why, that's why I like Kagami so much, and I hear the same things are happening now in Angola and even in Namibia. Am I saying that right?
Namibia.
Namibia,
Yeah.
yeah, Namibia, yeah.
Even because it's actually have to find that shoe. It's a shoe company from Senegal that's based out in Dakar, and they shoes actually look really comfortable. They look real professional for like work. But even them, they make their sneakers like not their sneakers, their shoes there in Dakar. So,
Hey, hold up.
Yo,
Why don't you do a show with the I don't know his name. You said his name was Thomas, the who talks about economics and stuff like
oh,
that.
trust me, I'm trying, but his schedule is crazy, so
Oh,
I'm trying to nail him down and get it. Trust me, I'm way
I
ahead
would.
of you on that one.
I
Okay,
think
yeah, I would definitely love for him to break it down because I know a little bit about it because it's a part of the couple of courses that I took. But getting into depth and stuff, I would definitely love to hear it though. And
Thomas,
this will
yo,
give the people a lot. This gives the people a lot to understand about too.
yo, to tell you how brilliant Thomas is, I consider myself a fairly intelligent person. Sometimes I talk to Thomas and I feel like little birds are going around my head. And I'm like, how the fuck do you he's real. I mean, when it comes to that, like anytime I have anything to do with economics, I'll call him up
Yeah,
and ask him
definitely,
about
man.
it.
you know what's a little concerning though. Maybe with the like to go back a little bit. Like, because you remember that call? You remember that I think I don't know which one it was. Which one was it? Which you with the Holip was on Dinah's channel with the
Yeah,
lawyer?
yeah.
That
Was
was the
that the
one I was
first
talking
time or
about.
the second one?
The lawyer
Uh,
came in
They were all on
the
the
second one.
same call, I think, right?
Oh my
I
Yeah,
think
yeah, it
they
he
was
was
the
the
were.
same call.
second. He was the second call, I believe.
yeah, and he's a
Yeah,
Yeah,
lawyer. Now, did he
yeah.
ever mention what type of lawyer he is?
No, he
No.
didn't, and that's what I was telling you about. He's the one that came on and said, "Well, don't give anybody, don't support,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he was. That's why I'm like,
yeah,
wow, lawyer
yeah." He
saying
said
this?
all that. Yeah, he said, "Don't support the
Oh
BAIO,
no, no,
don't
no, no.
support."
That wasn't the lawyer who said that.
You sure? Because I could have sworn
Yeah,
he said it was a lawyer.
yeah, I'm sure. It
No,
was
the
the lawyer
lawyer.
was the one who was trying to challenge me on the whole concept of having a nation.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah.
other guy came after the lawyer, and he was the one who said,
Oh, the
we don't want
woo.
to support you
Yo,
in any way, shape, or form." Oh, the who's here?
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah, boy.
What's up?
Big brother, the
Big
Wood.
bro.
peace, brothers. How y'all doing?
What's
Peace.
going on?
Hey, anytime I could be with the BAI Brotherhood is a fantastic day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I just got my yearly colonoscopy, commonly known as doing my taxes.
Were you as disappointed as I told you to be?
Yo, nah, you know what? Dude is he's a monster, and I ended up not only.
And he
Hello.
froze up. And he froze up. Give him a second.
Yeah.
Nah, he's talking, but we
All right,
can't
there
hear
you
him.
go. There you go. He's back.
Oh, nah. What I'm saying is that can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I hear
you
you
good
now.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Somebody tried to call.
Oh.
What I'm saying is that what's it called the dude that does my taxes is a monster, and I only had to pay like $1,100, which is kind of good because I really didn't take no taxes out of my payroll this whole year. So
Okay.
Oh, really?
he,
Yeah, that is good if
yeah,
you did that.
but you know what? I didn't even realize, man. But brother, I collected mad receipts. Holy mackerel! I didn't realize that.
Mm.
So, I was able to do my food expenses, my miles, and if you self-employed listening to us today, please get a mile tracking app. I recommend Mile IQ, and that helps.
Hmm.
So I had that. I had some oil change expenses and things like that. So it really brought it down. And then I got children. So but this year I'm gonna be filing by quarter because I ain't playing around with that no more. Straight up. True that. So what's up, fellas? Let's get in. Let's get into the topic. What at what point was y'all at?
Well, we went around, like we done knocked it around and went to a few
Yeah.
different places. I'm interested to get what you feel about the reparations, land
Yeah,
versus
man.
check.
Yeah. And the Wood, I got a question for you.
Okay. All right then. So let me answer the first thing. As far as land versus a check. Now, me and you had a conversation earlier, so we're going to sound like we're talking like we're saying the same thing. But in my judgment, if we in fact get a check, if everybody gets a check, I believe, first of all, it will be impossible to divide that, to really allocate it because of who gets what, who gets how much, where, when, and how. But also, I think it's counterproductive because we need a responsible body of men and women to be able to really do something with these resources. And I've been a part of the black movement pretty much all my adult life. I've seen what happens when people don't allocate resources correctly, and it ends up getting squandered. So we would need, not only would we need land, but we would need a responsible body of women and men to be able to determine what to do with that land that not only sets us up for the next couple of years, but really puts us in a position to finally be a nation of people who can compete with everybody else. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Because if we do something short term, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna be. It's almost like it's almost like, for instance, like I had a birthday party I had to go to the other night, and it was in the casino. That's my first time being in the casino upstate, and it's literally 5 blocks down from me. But I'm not a gambling guy. My dad made sure he killed that spirit in me. He was like, we had a cousin. He had a cousin named Bobby, and Bobby, used to throw his money away on gambling. So my dad made sure he killed the spirit and desire to gamble in me. So be that as it may, but if you'd have been there, you'd have been like, holy shit, there's mad people in there just throwing their money away. And I look at that as people who wanted to check for reparations. You are like those people in that casino that you just want to be able to throw it away. And then after that, you're still going to be on Facebook trolling white people saying, y'all didn't give us this and y'all didn't give us that. It's like, nigga, we just gave you $5,000.
Yep, that's what I said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
in order for us not to embarrass ourselves, we need real oversight and supervision doing this. And I'll say this before I stop. It's just like anything. If you are used to being in abusive relationships and picking abusive people, at some point somebody has to tell you, okay, let me pick the next person for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Dawood, I got a quick question for you.
Sure, big brother.
Okay. Before you came on, we were kind of talking about how some people, well, not some people, one guy had yelled out. I think he was trying to go after Holip on a video with Diana said with him. He's basically saying, don't support the BAIO, don't support Nationhood, but if the nation state gets up and run, they're gonna just migrate over to it. Like, what is your opinion on people who are basically trying to leech off of us, pretty much?
Well, I'm going to turn into my street Dawood for a second, so forgive me. My nigga, if you think you coming over there after trolling us, if you think, my nigga, you coming over there and you just gonna migrate there, you better go to Ghana. They got a tour guide you heard about, Uganda or something like that. Because the reality of it is that, as we said before, you have to be qualified to be a part of this nation. You got to be qualified, and your qualification is not morality. Your qualification is your
Wait. Oh, dang.
to this nation. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you were breaking up.
Yeah, you got to back up.
He was breaking up, but I think we can make it out what
sorry.
you're trying to say. Keep going.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
So
You're good.
What I'm saying is that your qualification is your usefulness to this nation. And if you can't be useful to this nation, then there's no reason for us to accept you. And we've already said we're going to have borders. So I don't know where this whole, and like I said before, it's what I call the C-130 kind of mentality, where you niggas think that you're just going to jump in the C-130 and be airlifted from America to Africa. It's not going to happen like that. So don't even try it. Go ahead. To accept you on the Ning site, it's the same way we got to accept you at our borders. Serioso. Go ahead, big brother.
Yeah, he basically was saying, don't support the BAO, don't give any. What did he say, Holip? Don't give us any resources.
He said, I asked him, like I always do. I said, what's wrong with people who want to stay in America staying in America, and people who want to build a nation state on the continent doing that. Like reparations can be for both of those. And he's like, no, we don't want the money just for us here in America. We don't want to have nothing on the continent. Da 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 da. But if you happen, if y'all can get it up and running, then we can do business. I'm like, what, nigga?
Like, yeah.
I made him
You know he used
repeat
to say
it
that
so
all
that
the time,
people can
bro?
hear what he was saying.
You know, he used to say that all the time, Holip?
Who?
Black Achievement used to say that. He used to say, oh,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
how I found out about you was listening to a video of Black Achievement. This is before me and you met.
Mhm.
And he was like, all these dudes, here's what his premise was. All these dudes got good jobs and living a comfortable life, and you're talking about moving to Africa. He was like, well, you go ahead and do that. He was like, I'll check on you. You know what I'm saying? I'll check on you. What do you mean check on me?
Yeah, Black Achievement was interesting dude. Like I used to see my issue with him was he wasn't really an honest player.
Right.
And that's what made me realize, I'm very careful with who I waste time trying to talk to, because a lot of people are just being disingenuous, and he was one of them. Like he had no intentions of doing anything, changing his mind or whatever. He was going to be who he was. I'm like, so why are you on nationalist programming?
Yeah, and
well, I tell you why. I'm sorry, brother. I can speak to that because I know him. But see, Black Achievement was the kind of brother that was around movements but never joined the movement. So he was a guy because he knows a lot about the Nation of Islam but never joined. So I would respectfully say that probably during services, Black Achievement was that guy that would come and sit for the whole service, and then as soon as they said prayer, would bounce, and then they would be like,
"Oh God,"
you know what I'm saying? Then they would be like, yo, brother, Black Achievement, brother, when is you gonna join? And he'd be like, I'm thinking about it. I'm really thinking. That nigga wasn't ever thinking about shit. You know what I'm saying? And you go through that. You go through that. You have people that stay on the fringes talking about, they give you just as much, and probably Black Achievement was dropping $20 donations when he came. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they'd be like the leadership, because I've been there before. Would be like, yo, I mean, the brother supports us. He gives a sizable donation. You think we could get him in? But here's one thing I will say on Black Achievement's behalf in regards to the organization. He came in a time where his kind of person was not usable, because he came in the boots on the ground, basically do what the fuck I say, not, and shut up kind of paradigm. And a person like Black Achievement doesn't fit into that paradigm because he has too much skills and potential. So you brothers that's on this line, why I love y'all so much, other than because I love y'all, is that you all have specific skills that really would not have been conducive to black organizations in the early 90s and late 90s, because them niggas talked about using y'all but didn't have no kind of mechanism of using y'all.
Yeah.
So what they would have done say, yo, Brother Patrick, I want you to be down with us. You got IT, and then you'd have came and said, nigga, get out there and sell my product.
Yeah, Patrick wouldn't be doing no IT work. He'd be out there selling bean pies.
We got almost 30 dislikes. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I was about to. Is at 26 now?
Damn, did I increase it?
I guess
27.
I guess Black Achievement has started trolling us and shit.
Man,
They be on my channel now, Holip. You done
38 people watching, 27 dislikes. Do y'all know? I hope y'all know. I guess they don't realize. I take pride in my dislikes, man.
30. Yeah, 30.
I take pride in my dislikes, because whenever I get dislikes, that means that I'm kicking these bitches in their ass. And they butt hurt.
Let me ask y'all a question. It's a prelude. I'm going to do my Nipsey Hussle show tonight, but I'm not going to go into the kind of spiritual side of it. But what I do want to talk to y'all, because I'm going to do that at the temple in like 15 minutes from now. But what I do want to ask y'all about is this. What do you think about, and if this is in the chat room, I can't see, but I'm not trolling y'all. I got to talk about this, though. What do you think about the use of Nipsey Hussle as the second coming of the transformed the Messiah hood nigga? I mean, my God,
that
no spot nor blemish. He never did nothing wrong. What the fuck?
Yo, can I just say something? You know Wayne Riley?
Yep.
Wayne Riley said he had the funniest post. He said, next time you niggas do something
yeah, I
wrong,
remember
ask
that. I
yourself,
remember that.
what would Nipsey Hussle say while he's looking down on you?
You had me rolling with that. I mean, brother, these
That was
governors, right?
classic.
Lauren London got the right hood nigga. Now Nipsey Hussle is a monster for burning sage when they left his. What the fuck? What's going on here, man?
I'm not like because I know. Did I put? Because y'all saw the screenshot I put in the chat, right?
Yep.
In the group chat. Now I had a problem with it because I'm like these same people that's posting that are the same people that do the same shit with older scholars.
Yes.
That passed.
Yes.
So I'm like, why? Like you're being a hypocrite. But now it's getting very weird now. Like the whole thing coming and Armaez. I'm surprised the Hebrews ain't come out yet and try to use him. Because I'm like, yo.
They're gonna. I guarantee you, if you go to Hebrew Israelites right now, they probably reading you a scripture where Nipsey Hussle is in the scripture.
Yep. But
if he's in there, they'll find it and then they'll quote it back to you.
They would be against him though because he's supposed to be African, and you know how they.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he a Hamite. I forgot.
Yo, it's crazy to me. It's like, okay, so and when I do my show, I'm going to show, overwhelming appreciation and homage to a brother who did the right thing. And for me, what I want to point out, really, and I'm giving you a hit off the top, what I want to point out is the total hypocrisy of people on all sides. Because you have your Black Panther people, the people I call Black Panthers, the people who, when the movie came out, couldn't do nothing but find something wrong with it. You got your people, Nipsey Hussle, you got Nipsey Hussle walking around you every day. So what? So what? Yes, you have people that's doing stuff bigger and better than him and some less. But the fact remains that he did what he did. So why would we not admire him for what he did? Ain't nobody dick riding. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody like, oh, I want to be Nipsey Hussle. I want to smell like him. Ain't nobody saying that. You know what I'm saying? We're just saying like, wow, here's a rapper. All we ever talk about is how rappers and act and which is really
don't
untrue
do
anyway.
anything, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you finally got somebody that did something, and all you want to do is find reasons to not validate this dude. It's the same thing with, we got movies, but we ain't never gonna have no all-black movie. So they give you Black Panther, and the only thing you can focus on, well, it's a white man to save the day at the end. What do you niggas want?
Negro stalling tactics, brother. That's all it is.
I want $50,000. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I want a year's worth salary, man. Just give me that
free, right?
Yeah, I want a starting entry level salary for 400 years of slavery and oppression.
And son, here's the thing, because I live upstate, you know what I'm saying? Even though I'm from downstate, I live upstate. So I'm around a lot of Indians. And I don't mean Indians from India, but, like American Indians.
Yeah.
So with that, they get a check, much like the check that we asking for, with the hashtag ADOS. And I have to say that these are the most docile wine and liquor drinking people because, quite frankly, they get that check, but the check don't really mean shit. It's like, so in other words, it's not like the Indians are using that to build on their land. It's not like they're using it to come together. It's just a fucking check.
Sound familiar?
Sound familiar, right?
But see, their story is very unique because they're already on their land, and that shit got devalued. So, and they got exterminated to the point that most of them are not even really native. Then most of them are white. So it's like
exactly.
So they might as well like fuck it.
I mean, but I'm just saying that's an example of. Because, this whole let's get a check thing, it goes deeper to me than just the structural and the and the infrastructure kind of thing. It goes deeper because, let's just be honest, most of us came around here to the quote-unquote black movement because of a lot of the stuff that we saw people going through, ourselves included, when it comes to vices in this world. I was an alcoholic. Some people were drug addicts. Some people were, whatever it is that you were, you came around for that. So here's the thing. The thing is that you're going to now give a people a check that are still facing these vices and still dealing with these problems. Now I'm not saying everybody is dealing with that problem. But what I'm saying is a lot of black people are dealing with that problem. So if you give them that, and I brought up an example, I think me and Holip was talking, I don't know if it was online or offline, but I give an example. Like I knew a chick that was on welfare since she was like 15 years old. Like she had a child at 15, she was on welfare. So at some point, a social worker was able to get her sort of like reparations. So they was.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
What happened?
he went out.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He's still on, but okay, there he is. No, you went out.
Yeah, you went out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been switching over to my Wi-Fi. Anyway, what I'm saying is that I don't know how much of that you heard, but what I'm saying is that it was a chick I knew that, you know, she was 15 years old, had a child, and she didn't get on welfare till she was like 18, 19 years old, and they gave her, you know, a social worker had did some work and got her like $25,000. So be that as it may, she got the $25,000 in like 4 dispersals. Don't you know that $25,000 was gone before 90 days?
Jesus.
90 days. That chick bought Air Jordans, the Derek Jeter edition. She bought fake eyes. She bought fake hair. She bought, like, she bought 2 pairs of Jordans for, I mean, that's what she did with the money. We're not saying that everybody's going to do that. But this is my case for there have to be a responsible body of men and women that come together and really they dictate how this money is going to be used. And the money should be used to set up something that is going to put us in a better position for years to come, period. So what I'm saying is that if, in fact, there was money given and not land, that would be the only way that I would agree with it, is if that was the case. Because if they give us all individual checks, it's not going to do nothing.
It's not.
Can I put a question in the chat? By I'm assuming this guy's Amor.
A what?
Amor.
Ismail Bay.
Yeah, he said, "How do y'all expect recognition as a nation yet not be a part of the United Nations?" Serious question. Now, can I go first on this?
Sure.
Do you want
to? Just before you go, Ish is a friend of the family, so.
All right. So
he's cool. He's cool.
I won't go
more than the friend of the family. He's our brother.
Yeah, I won't go into asshole mode. All right, got it.
He's good people, man.
So, Ishmael, like,
that's our brother, though. I love
you don't necessarily have to be a part of the United Nations to be recognized, because you know, like the EU, that only just is that's only just European nations. That has nothing to do with any outside other nation. You have the African Union, where there's nothing but African countries united. And then the United Nations, that's more of like a collective that was created after, I believe, World War I, if I'm not mistaken. And it was called something else before the United Nations. But it's pretty much all these countries that they claim to be allies or at least associates. That's what the United Nations is. But you don't have to be a part of that to be a recognized country.
Yeah, North Korea is not a part of the UN, are they?
Yeah, but we know about North Korea. So that's actually a good example.
Oh, man. Minister, I'm just now seeing what you were talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. What I put in the thing there, right, about the trolling.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want me to address that?
Oh no.
Some people can't help themselves. But let me just speak to what good Big Brother Ish was saying from my perspective. And mind you, anybody listening to this and family listening to this, Brother Ish is our friend and our brother.
Right.
And we have nothing but love for him. In my judgment, BAIO mission has twofold. We have a nation of our own that we're in the process of acquiring and building, but we also have what's called satellite communities. And the satellite communities will be in America. Those satellite communities will be agitating for rights for black people all around the world, wherever they are. So that doesn't necessarily mean that we will not be a part of the UN, you know what I mean, or even deal with the UN. But as a nation state on the continent, we'll probably be dealing with the African Union. Here in America, our satellite communities and the representatives from the satellite communities, they may choose to deal with the UN in the future, but that's, further down the line. So that's kind of my thinking on that.
Can I ask a question about that? And I'm being serious because I haven't really thought about it. But what's wrong with being a part of the United Nations?
I don't know. I don't think anything.
There's really. Well, the only thing is that like United Nations military, or I think what they call the military, because you remember that Dave Chappelle skit.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the peacekeepers. The peacekeepers, right?
Yeah. So I believe America controls that military, but each country sends a certain amount of troops to that faction. But America as a whole, I believe, controls that quote unquote military.
Right.
I mean, I would have to plead ignorance because I'm really not that familiar with United Nations policy, so I'll just say that up front. But I don't see why it would be a problem being a part of the United Nations once you actually have a functional nation in place.
Indeed.
No, I don't think
That's just me.
his question wasn't that if it's a problem. He was just saying like just for recognition as a true nation. Like, do you have to be
a part of the UN?
Yeah. Do you
Oh,
have to
okay,
be
okay.
a
I
part
see what
of
he's
the
saying.
United Nations to be a recognized country, but you don't.
Yeah, I see what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Well, again,
Peace-ish.
Yeah, that's our brother. Again, and Ish, we're going to be doing a BAIO old school hip hop panel.
Oh, he got to be a part of that.
Hell yeah, that's
I'll be a part of that.
I definitely had him in mind. So we'll let you know, big brother. Hopefully you're on deck because we definitely want to get your input on that. But like I said, if you have satellite communities in America, then the possibilities are unlimited because those people still have to deal with the bullshit here, and so they will have to go through a lot of different channels in order to agitate for relief and rights for people that still live here. So I think that we will definitely be dealing with the United Nations. So that's a part of it that that's further down the line though.
Yeah.
Am I making sense, fellas?
Yeah. I got a question.
Oh, you're doing good, man. We got 49 dislikes, 31 likes. I'm feeling this, man.
And
Could you talk some more? Like, can somebody else start talking some shit? I am feeling this.
Yeah.
I love when my bitches come together, man. It's like they form like Voltron.
Yeah, it came.
What's the Voltron?
It came right after I asked Voltron. You never heard of Voltron?
No, I mean I forgot how the theme goes. That was like that theme when I was in high school because they used to show it early on Cartoon Network, like early this decade.
Yeah,
that's how I knew it was too early in the morning for me.
Yo, when we get 50 dislikes, we're gonna form the Blazing Sword.
Hey, holla. Yeah, I was paying attention too, and it all came right after I asked the Wood that question.
Oh wow!
What question is
this?
Yeah,
that's the power of the Wood.
Yeah, I said the Wood. I asked him about how people were saying they're not. Well, how that one guy was saying, yeah, don't support Nationhood, don't support this or that. But if it gets up and running, we're going to migrate to it, or whatever he said.
Oh,
as soon as you drop that response, the dislikes flew right off the radar.
And we got bitch after bitch coming into the chat room. It's so funny, man.
The Wood basically said no leeching ass niggas, and they came right on.
So what you mean I can't leech? You mean to tell me that if I don't want to be a part of the org and don't want to support nothing, when y'all do get the ball rolling, I can't support now?
Yo, did anybody on this line see Shazam?
Yeah, I haven't yet. Is it good?
I saw it.
Is it good?
It was fucking horrible to me.
Yo, let me speak on this. Why in the world would you go and see Shazam? That is not your type of movie.
Bro, I had nothing to do.
Oh, okay, that must have been it. Because that movie is not. I knew from the day one when I saw that you wouldn't like that movie.
They're Clippers.
Oh my god, that was horrible.
Yeah, it's like a nice.
I did like. I thought the little girl was cute though.
Oh yeah, and she was to be making good. I was down for that.
Yeah, let me. I got a question for everybody here.
Sure.
Have you guys heard about? Have y'all heard about the incidents that are going on in Haiti with all these what do you call them? Racist Syrian Jews and Arabs that are basically taking over their government and their economy. And basically, there have been the UN have been well, basically, I've heard that they use peacekeepers to intimidate people who are trying to like fight for the country. And over 50,000 Haitians have been killed, and they have a weapons embargo against Haiti, so they can't even get any weapons to defend themselves.
Nah, man.
I haven't heard any of that, actually. The only thing I heard about Haiti, this is like after the earthquake, was that this was on Vice, right? So get this, right? So apparently everybody's houses is in disarray and shit, right?
Right.
So they only built like 5 houses out of all that money, right? I don't know what the number is now.
Oh yeah. That was
and then
Hillary Clinton led.
And then I don't know what is the Olympic? Is it the Olympic Foundation or something like that?
Yeah, I heard about.
They fucking go and build a soccer field for them. Like that's what they want right now in Haiti. They build them a nice soccer field. And then everybody that's in like regular ass houses that like they look, the houses actually look like some shit, like a fucking suburbia here. As well, all these white people that work in the factories that have shit shipping out of Haiti, that own all the companies to get all their resources. So it's that I only know that, and then with the current rioting. But that's all I know. I didn't know about that though.
Brother Patrick, are you Haitian?
No.
No.
Okay, I looked at your last name and I thought you was.
Yeah, my last name is French, but I asked my dad. My dad doesn't really, because he apparently did some research, but he only went as far back as my great grandfather. That's as far as you can get back, but it would make sense that some of my family members on that side did come from Haiti, based on the last name. But that I don't know too.
This is some hysterical shit. How can there be 51 dislikes and only 33 people watching? How is that even possible?
Because as soon as they come in short, they get blocked.
Let me build up some more because if that's Bomani, you know he hates when we talk about the conscious community. So let me do that real quick. Remember when the earthquakes happened and the conscious community was trying to say it's the white man that made those earthquakes happen?
Yeah, I remember that.
Hey, with the Tesla machine? Yeah.
I was like, are you serious, yo? And then they was trying to go through this kind of astrology to prove it. And I was like, oh my God.
Well, remember, he is Thanos.
Indeed. He had the proper jewel to do so.
I mean, for me, right, my whole thing is because I'm getting to the point that there's no conspiracy theory. Like, if you know your enemy, you shouldn't be surprised by anything at this point.
Right. This is true.
Because they're capable of doing that. So it's like... But I remember that they were saying how they use like an old Tesla machine because apparently Nikola Tesla made like a little machine that could create like seismic waves. And apparently they used that to cause the earthquake. I remember all of that shit, bro. That was before I was even really deep in the conscious community. Like that.
What are they gonna do about it? Is what I want to know. Let's say I accept it. I accept that. Yeah, the white man caused the earthquakes or whatever. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
And then you get crickets.
This is like history will record when your children are older, and they ask you, "Hey, Dad, was you alive during the quote unquote conscious community back in the day?" And you know what I'm gonna say? Yes, them niggas was burning snow. They're gonna be like, "Nah, Dad, stop playing." I'm be like, "Yo, literally on Facebook they was burning snow, son."
Yo, it's nothing more impressive. There's nothing more impressive than when you get your ass kicked and somebody can come and give you blow-by-blow descriptions about how you lost. There's nothing more impressive than that. I am really impressed by how intelligent these people are that can analyze ass kickings.
Indeed. I mean, I was like, yo, y'all are, because first it started off as like, well, they're mixing some kind of chemical and it's making the snow more solid, it's toxic and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, well, I could...
Which that makes sense. Like, that does make sense, but...
Yeah, but then it was like, well, have you noticed that the snow is an off-white color? I was like, oh, no, y'all gotta y'all gotta stop. And then when I literally saw 5 videos of people burning snow, I said, I need a break from Facebook now. I really do. I need a break. Y'all stressing me out. Stop.
Bro, yo, I remember there was a conspiracy theory with I don't know if y'all remember this. You remember when there was an earthquake in like in the Heights or some shit like that in Manhattan?
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
I remember that.
It was all in Manhattan because me and my mom, we was building a desk. We didn't feel shit, but I'm in the Bronx, so
it happened in Brooklyn too.
Yeah, but everybody was like, "Yo, you see what's happening?" But it's like they were trying to come up with conspiracy theories, but then I think a few professors at Columbia that are studied in that, they was like, yeah, there's a bunch of fault lines in Manhattan. Hence why when at a certain point on the west side of Manhattan going into Harlem, that they build the trains outside because of the trenches in Manhattan. And it was like, yeah, like New York usually experiences like an earthquake every 100 years. So it was like it's actually overdue. For
See, that's what I like about science. Science is timeless. I'm always amazed at how people built stuff in the 1900s. See, this is the beauty. Exactly. This is the beauty of having a dad like mine, where we can talk, and I ask him, so Dad, how did you such and such so and so? And then my dad will start telling me about how, because my dad does the same thing I do, but my dad, by trade, before he got into the security industry, was an electrician and really studied electrical engineering when he was on the subway. So my dad can break down to you how trains work, what the voltage is, what kind of trains there are, and things like that. And what my dad used to say was that they used to use basically AC. I guess they used to use AC on the trains back in the day. So what I'm saying at the end of the day is that I'm amazed at the technology that they used to use in his day, and how really, to be very honest with y'all, even though information technology is way more advanced than it was back in the day, actual structural things were more complicated back in those days than they are now.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
Because I've been wondering too, like when I look at the 2 train, if I decide to take it, like I'm like, this shit gotta be like over 100 years old. And all they do, from what I see, and they like probably like repaint it or something like that. I don't really see them like really like changing out the architecture. So I'm like, damn, like these
bro,
must be crazy.
It's different because they use a different. And I would say as much as 30 years ago, they used a different kind of voltage in order to run the train.
Yeah.
And now what they use is DC, which DC is an animal. Like you don't want to fuck with DC. At least with AC, you have a chance when it alternates of getting out. DC, that shit is coming for your ass.
You're dead if you touch that.
Yep.
Like, third world, you die. It's not I may live, I may get shocked back. Like, no, you die.
Fellas, unfortunately, we're going to have to cut this because my mic is going dead. So we're going to get cut anyway.
Nipsey Hussle name drop is 7 o'clock tonight.
All right, big brother. Love y'all. Peace, everybody.
Thank
you for the troll.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, Dundada.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, because Hollow might about to die, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys, man.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.